Yeah. Welcome to another edition of the Views from the Friend Zone podcast. It's your boy Real Talk Mall. Who I got in the building with me?
Sensei, I shall not tell a lie. Happy Labor Day, everybody. What up?
It's your boy Cliff Brock Banana.
Yeah, man, happy Labor Day, y'all. I know everybody's kind of bummed out a little bit because the weather's kind of crazy. Doesn't allow all the barbecues, but I know my Caribbean people are still going to get it in no matter what. You know what I'm saying? How's y'all Labor Day weekend so far, fellas?
So far, so good. Just been relaxing. Got family in town from out of town. Taking it easy. About to hit up some barbecues and get some food, some drink.
Yeah, what about you, Cliff?
Went to church this morning with the fam and my daughter, and that's it. Just keeping it light right now.
It's blessings.
Yes, sir.
All right, man, we're going to jump right into the show. And the first topic is class system. So for those of you who don't know what class system is, society usually have people considered different classes: middle class, poor, rich. But I wanted to embrace the social aspect of class system, as far as dating. When men and women get together, does class system have an effect? And what really drew this question to be a topic is, for the last couple of weeks, there's been a story floating around on social media. I've seen the story in two different ways, but the way that it boiled down is a woman was down on her luck. An older gentleman stepped into her life, took care of her, put her through school, got her educated, got her into her career. She winds up becoming a lawyer. The gentleman's a truck driver. And the story changed because I heard a cab driver before, I heard a truck driver, but long story short, as the woman becomes into her career, she's a lawyer, now she says she doesn't feel like she should be dating someone under her class. Like she's an educated, professional woman and he's just a truck driver. So it was all good when he was, taking care of her, paying her bills and all stuff like that. But then all of a sudden when she came up, and he didn't join her on the come up, all of a sudden he's too low for her. So the first question, is it wrong to have a type based on education or a social type?
Yeah, Cliff.
Okay. You say is it wrong to...
like for instance, we're all college educated gentlemen in here.
Okay.
And not to say that if you're dating someone who's not college educated, she's quote unquote not on your educational class. But maybe you might fall in love with someone who's just like right now, they do the fries at McDonald's. Or
basically he
like
upgraded her and then she felt she was too good for him.
I know the story.
Before we address that, I'm just saying, can you date someone quote unquote who's not on your, I hate to say, social or educational class?
I have. But I'll let you get it.
Yeah, you can date somebody that is not in your social class or on your level, but that person got to be willing to grow, and that person got to be willing to tell you that she's making moves or he's making moves. He can't just be stagnant. He can't be doing fries at McDonald's and not thinking about becoming the manager there or what you call it. It don't matter.
You're saying you're talking about from the guy's perspective.
From the guy's perspective.
But I want you to talk about as far as you dating a woman.
Oh, I could date a woman under me, but as long as she got goals. She can't just be settling and happy that, she's at this certain place. As long as she's trying to better herself. And then you got to show by actions. Every year as a person, you should try to grow and get better, right?
What if her goal is to see you succeed and it's all about supporting you?
That's great. That's great to a certain extent, but you gotta want to build yourself at some point in time in life, because then that's how the relationship works. You know what I'm saying?
To me, it's tough because as men were supposed to be the providers. We're supposed to be quote unquote the head of the household. Mm-hmm. So traditionally, it's always looking for a man to have a certain amount of bank. A woman just has to become a nurturer or help build a home. So it's tough because me being an educated man, a working professional, I could date a woman who's not necessarily educated in that aspect or even a working professional if we have an agreement of, okay, this is how our household is going to be built. Because sometimes education's like over it's over emphasized. Like, people make a bigger deal about education than it is, because I know people with master's degree and they still can't hold an engaging conversation. And I know people who never went to college but are smart as hell.
We just said it. I was having a discussion about this last night with my cousin because we was watching the fight, the replay of the Floyd Mayweather fight, and I had brought up the fact that he can't really read. You know what I'm saying? So
but look how successful he is.
Exactly. So even without that education, this man has become 100, millionaire. He's making a large amount of money.
He has career earnings of $1 billion, even though obviously you don't keep all the money he's made.
But to answer the question, I can absolutely date somebody who. See, first of all, you have to be somebody who looks at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see yourself in a certain class and then you see people above you or beneath you, then
I don't believe in classes.
But honestly, to an extent, we all do. You know what I mean? Because if you start messing with somebody and you used to certain things in life, you used to a certain way of life, and they've maybe not used to that or they not experienced to that type of stuff, you'd be like, oh, well, okay, I know you're not used to this, so I'm going to show you another side. And it's the same thing if we start dealing with a chick who just, had bank, her family was wealthy, and if we started dating, she would be exposing me to probably a different style of life than I'm used to.
Yeah.
So you have to notice the class first if that's something you choose to do. But either way, I feel like if you love somebody, it's gonna supersede that class, joint.
Yeah, because the reason why I don't believe in class, like, let's think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the Kardashians. They're rich. But what class do you put them in? They're rich, but I don't consider themselves so socially classy, so of this world. They just happen to have a lot of money because of their, exploitation of culture.
So that's what I'm saying. Is class education, how you carry yourself, or just your bank statement? What exactly determines your class?
Society, based social status on your economics. You know what I'm saying? But to me, that's why I don't really, follow that so much. Like you said, I could be with a woman who, quote unquote, necessarily doesn't have that same education as I do, as long as we enjoy each other and we can have good conversation. But to me, the reason why I thought that story was so interesting is because it's just like, man, this woman was a user the whole time. Like, most of the time it's like for better or worse. He saw you at your worst. He pretty much took care of you. Now, the other aspect of that quote-unquote example was he was an older gentleman. So many people, what's ironic is
how much older? Like,
I believe they don't give you the details, but they make it seem like he was an older gentleman who caught a pretty young thing and like kind of molded her. So some women were commenting, well, he used her because he
wanted a young
thing to mold, and then when she came of sense, she broke out of it, and then some men is just like, you see. She was at the bottom. He helped build her up, and then now that she's up, she's just trying to leave.
And it's fine if she don't want to be with him no more. Now that she's had her success or whatever, but she can't use the excuse about him being a garbage man as the reason why he's no longer good enough for her. Because he was good enough for her as a garbage man when he was taking care of her and providing for her. Maybe it's her time to take care of him. Or maybe he's just happy being a garbage man and just
ain't nothing wrong
with that.
And
nothing wrong with that.
If you're a team and y'all set up a certain dynamic, it's all about how the team works. Okay, so now she's a lawyer. Maybe she's bringing in more money and stuff like that, and then maybe you guys have to redesign how the team is set up. Discuss what's the new initiative. But to just be like, oh, he doesn't want to come up to, like, what was he supposed to do? Because his thing was putting food on the table and financing your goal.
You through school, yeah.
So this is what he knew and this is what he did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the next question is, because it kind of rolls off of this, if a person you fell in love with doesn't have any goals or ambition, is it okay to move on?
I'll go first. It's definitely okay to move on, because if a person don't have no goal or ambitions, all you're gonna do is be wasting time. Because I mean, if a relationship, were you talking about just relationship wise or just dating them, period?
Relationship.
Okay. It definitely is definitely easy just to move on because you're just wasting time. If they don't got no goals and aspirations, what are you really gonna build?
But we gotta do. You see, that's what's sticky about that. I want to play devil's advocate because you meet a woman, she holds you down while you're building a business or whatever, vice versa. And her goals is, I just want to have a loving family. I want to raise a child with you. I want a successful household that fears God.
But that's a goal.
That's a goal.
Is she wants to be the homemaker, and if you as a man agree that, or I expect from you is to make sure our home is, in order and everything is right, and I ain't got to worry about none of that. If y'all agree to that, then okay.
That's right. Yeah.
But some people might view that as, she doesn't have any goals or aspirations. She just wants.
No,
it's
ain't
too
no
simplistic.
Listen.
So should goals be is it fair to define what is a valuable or good enough goal or aspiration?
Yeah, it's definitely fair enough because sometimes a goal got to be something where it's really going to benefit both parties, right? Mm-hmm. You can't just it's her saying I just want to stay home and then stay home and take care of the kids, and she's not getting the kids ready to go to school. The house is dirty.
She's not doing her
She's not doing the end of the part.
So she's not living up to that goal.
She's not living up to her part. So basically, when she says that if she just want to be a stay-at-home mom or whatever it is, or vice versa, stay-at-home dad, y'all got to have that conversation and talk about the goal. Because a goal could be a goal that the next thing you know, she's not doing anything or he's not doing anything.
No, so it's cool to say, like, to answer the question, no. It's definitely not cool to be with somebody who has no goals or ambition. And it's definitely okay to be like, I can't fuck with you like that. You gotta, but at the same time, I've met people who may not have realized what they wanted to do. So it's not that they didn't have a goal; they just wasn't sure which direction they wanted to go. So you can help them find.
But that's
best for them.
That's the conversation needed, right?
Yes, that's the conversation needed.
If I'm with a woman, right, and I tell her, you know what, my dream is to own a construction company, what you call it, and right now I'm just a construction worker, but I'm going in the process of it. That's something I told her what I'm dreaming, and I gotta show her the directions.
Yeah.
After 2 or 3 years, if that person ain't moving in that direction, move on because that person's really not trying to.
But you said something that's key. Is the communication of it. But goals, plans and
Things
goals
happens.
are two different things, right?
Yeah.
Because you can have a plan and the plan don't work out, but a goal, goals sometimes continue to remanifest itself, right? Because it's just like he wants to own the construction company. Things aren't going that way. He's quote unquote, he's not getting the advancement. He doesn't have the money coming, stuff like that. So I think you have to continue to communicate what the goal is, what the plan is. Set up 3-year plan, 5-year plan.
Definitely, the
But
communication.
as long as it's there, I think as long as it's there, that's the beginning. Knowing where you want to go, knowing where y'all trying to go, and it would be absolutely wonderful if y'all had common goals, so y'all can build together. But at the same time, if y'all have individual goals, it's all good too. As long as your spouse knows what your goal is, you know what her goal is, and you see her and help her work towards doing that, and she do the same for you. You know what I'm saying?
In reality, right, sometimes you set a goal and it might take time for even to achieve that goal, right? So in the mindset of in a relationship, you still got to communicate with that person and let them know, listen, I might need more time of this. But if it's a goal where financially she's counting on you, get another job and that fill the void. You can still work on that goal. But get another job to
aspect
but the communication is key, right? Because a lot of time I know even in my particular relationship, me just having certain goals but not communicating that with my wife, it allowed her to not see what my vision is, because in my head I know what the vision is. Mm-hmm. But if you're not constantly communicating, constantly adjusting the goal, the woman's just like, I don't see what he's doing.
And
he's sitting on his ass. He's not doing this. He's not doing
because
that.
The conversation you're not having with her, you might be going through it with your boys or whatever. Once you communicate with that person, if you communicate with that person, you tell them, listen, this is how I'm going about it, and they see you making strides towards it, and they're not really trying to be with it or whatever, then you just like, okay, that's a goal for yourself, because she doesn't care about that.
But and also, like, to reiterate the communication thing. When you have a goal such as being an artist, I always tell people, because I used to like rap back in the day, it's like if you're not trapping if you're not trapping where it's just that, you create your own schedule, kind of stuff like that, it's really tough to pursue those certain kind of goals, like being an artist and working full time. Because being an artist, those creative kind of goals, you need money to put into it, but also you need the time to be flexible to do certain things.
Yeah.
Like, I was working, at Viacom, being a controller, 9 to 6, and then at night you trying to put songs together and stuff like that. You don't really have time. It's one of those things where when you have certain goals, it's like, if you're not all in, you're not gonna achieve it. So that's why.
But then your relationship is doomed to fail also. Because, like you said, if you have an ambition or a goal that's not going to financially support you at the time, you know what I'm saying?
It's going downhill for you.
But you still want to do it, so you have to, like you said, you work whatever job you can to get money, and then in your spare time, your free time, the time that you would normally be spending with your spouse, you working towards building that goal. You know what I'm saying? So they have to
potentially
understand
lose
that.
the person.
They have to understand and support that.
But
you know what I mean?
Listen, anybody that's in a relationship, you're in a relationship and you express that early on, like, listen, this is what I'm doing, they gotta ride with it. Right?
They don't have to.
No, man or woman.
If it's going to be successful,
listen, if they want it to be long term, you gotta ride with it. Because if you can't go into a goal and you're giving 25%, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. If you're not gonna go 100 for that goal, then fall back. Then listen. If you was that secretary, but you wanted to start do such a business, tell yourself, I'm gonna be a secretary for life because of the relationship. You gotta go 100%, or that you gotta express to your partner or the significant other, vice versa, that this is something important to you.
It's hard.
And this is,
if you don't have that support at home or with who you dealing with, it's hard. Because first of all, it's hard enough working somewhere where you don't want to be there. Your goal is here. This is what you're trying to do. But you got to provide. You got to get this money. So you got to keep this job.
Look what you said. How many? Look at what you're doing now. What you call it? Some people grew up saying, "I want to be a cop." Some people grew up saying, "I want to be." Nobody says to themselves sometimes, "Oh, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a correctional officer. I want to be this." Some situations happen.
What you mean nobody says it? to themselves?
Nobody says that. If you from the beginning, sometimes, not saying people don't want to be a fireman or correctional officer, but sometimes stuff happens. So now you got to work in this field that you just because you got to support yourself financially. So if you express that to your partner, listen, this is what I need. Like somebody who's trying to open up an art gallery, right? What you call it?
Yeah, the creative side.
The creative side of it, you might make paintings, you might do this, you might not sell no paintings. Yeah. So she's gonna be like, hold on, what's going on here?
The business of entertainment is very difficult.
Yeah,
that's why it's so limited people at the top of these things who control the big business of it. You know what I'm saying?
And it takes a lot of commitment because you're gonna fail much more than you succeed. So
if you don't have that nest egg to fuel these things, it's tough. I know a lot of talented artists who's just like, once the kids came, once, the serious relationship came.
That's what happened.
But you may not need that nest egg if you have that support. If you have somebody who truly supports you, maybe not financially, maybe just emotionally, maybe, creatively.
Yeah.
And if they financially, that's a plus. But at the same time, if you have that support, you can get through those tough times that normally you would just crumble. So it's hard to say.
No, you're definitely right. But it's definitely you gotta talk it out. You gotta communicate, right? Because it's because sometimes your goal, your significant other, man or woman, they don't really believe in your goal.
That's
right?
A fact.
No.
That's a fact.
Let's keep it 100. They don't really believe in your goal, right? And they looking at you basically saying, listen. They're not saying it in your face, but they're talking to their friends, they're talking to their cousins and everybody. They're like, listen, this guy told me he's gonna open up this business for 3 years ago. He's been late on the cable bill twice this month.
That's the word.
He's not paying this. He's not paying that.
Yeah.
And then you know what?
Remember you said that because that's gonna come up on a later topic. As well.
So what you gotta when you got a goal, I feel like you both should sit down with each other and say, listen, this is what I believe in. And if you're not into it, let me know now.
Not only that, but you got to set timelines.
Definitely.
You got to let them know.
And deadlines.
This is what we're going to do in the next couple of months. And you got to have if this happens, we do this. If it don't Yeah, because the worst thing you can do is say you have a goal and you have a grind, but you're thinking about it only by yourself, because you allow your partner to just judge on your actions and they don't know what your thoughts is. So the last question on this topic is, have you ever been turned off from a person based on their background, even though you were turned on by their looks? Like, you think shorty's bad and stuff like that, and then you find out, like,
No, the real
she's a
question
high school-
should be, have you dated a stripper? Okay?
No.
Because honestly,
You're being
a
too
stripper's
specific.
bad. She's bad, but no man says, I want a wifey a stripper. You know what I'm saying?
Or porn star, but nobody.
Listen,
But
I know a
finish up.
couple of friends who put strippers through Catholic school. Don't
Yeah.
know.
So let me
Catholic
finish it out.
school.
So, like you guys are saying, you're turned on by their looks, attracted to them, but their background, maybe they're high school dropout, maybe, they don't even know how to read, maybe, financially they're just like in so much debt, they don't know how to, all they know how to do is shop, they don't know how to keep themselves organized, but they're so attractive. Have you ever been down that road? And if it didn't work out, why didn't it work out? In the long
Well,
run?
no, I'm not. I've never been down that road, because I do like a survey beforehand, before I get too deep into it, and that survey is me conversing with you. And if you don't speak how I speak, or if you don't say things that I feel are in line with me, I'm not going to even talk to you but so long. You see what I'm saying? What I can say is that I don't judge people by their background, because I don't want nobody to judge me about my background. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm dealing with somebody new, I'm not going to judge you by what took place in your previous relationship or relationships, because I don't want to be judged by what took place in mine. You know what I'm saying? But as far as what you want to do going forward, that's what matters most. So like you said, in instance, she can't read, or, she was a high school dropout. What led to that circumstance, for one? I want to know more about your person that is you, and how you overcame that, or how you trying to overcome it. And you can't help somebody unless they're willing to help themselves.
That's a fact.
So if you just throwing a pity party, and if you just stuck and waiting for a come up, I'm not your come up. So
Yeah.
if you're trying to build something, I can help you. If I'm into you that much, I will help you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to express that properly. So that's my whole deal with it.
What about you?
I'm really good at a judge of character when it comes to certain people and stuff. Like me, if when I was in that field, if I was messing with a woman, it's only gonna take me an hour to realize who I'm dealing with. You know why? Because first thing is we're gonna do a date where we're gonna have a lot of conversation. So she can't spark my interest by conversation. I can know off the rip that I'm gonna pay for this meal, and we're never gonna talk again. So I'm not gonna waste a lot of time.
Go ahead.
And then sometimes you fall into the category where you might meet some good fakers, some good pretenders, but then you still got to go at it. You still got to do certain tests with them, so you know what you're dealing with.
I've been fortunate enough that most women that I've kicked with and speak to, they always talk to me about long term. I'm not the dude who's lucky enough meet a female and they just want to pop off and stuff like that. Usually females start talking to me, then they start talking about the future and stuff like that. So I usually kind of vet out if the woman background is crazy or not. But there's been times where I've dated a woman long enough just because she was just fine, but I knew background wise it wouldn't have worked out.
That
You know what I'm
ain't
saying?
that ain't it.
Some people it's not about you being able to help them. Some people it's just like, they not even trying, like Susie Homemaker or Ghost. Nah, they just trying to get it popping and live for the day.
I like that. YOLO. That
You know,
scares me too. Don't throw all your problems on me when I first start talking to you.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want to
mean-
hear all that. Not off top. Let's ease into
I dated
it.
a girl for a couple
Let's
months.
ease into it.
She had 5 kids,
Whoa,
4 different fathers.
whoa.
You know what I'm saying? And she just
So one thing you knew is she was giving that cooch up. That's one thing you can say.
She was giving.
She was giving it up, and she didn't like prophylactic.
she was sweet, but you know what I'm saying?
Steady
It
P.
just
That's
I'm
what
sure
we call
she
it.
was
Steady.
sweet.
We call it Steady P.
So let's move on. The next topic is a topic that we always kind of come back to when you consider relationship, and it's cheating, right? So we always try to figure out, Is there a reason why people cheat? This, that, and the other. So, I wanted to view the aspect more of, we'll get into why people cheat, but is there any coming back from cheating, right? Because I always feel like cheating is not a crime. Wow. It's not a crime where
it's not a crime.
No, hear me out. I use crime as an analogy, but it's not everything, cheating falls on. Not only that, but not all cheating is the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
even though cheating is wrong, but there's different circumstances. There's levels to cheating, right?
Sometimes you're forced into it, right? That's what it is.
I don't want to say that, but is there any coming back from cheating? Can men always have the ego? My woman cheating on me, it's done and stuff like that. I want to, divulge into the aspect of, is there coming back from cheating in a relationship?
I got a lot to say.
Because back in the days, right, our generation, I think more so is so caught up with the cheating. Like, people get divorced over cheating, people break up in cheating, stuff like that. But if you go older generations,
they overcame it.
They overcame it. Women knew that man was, when he was younger, I used to have to chase him drag him out of the bar and stuff like that. Yeah. And these are relationships that's been 30, 40 years solid. You know what I'm saying? Like in the show Insecure.
Those were stronger women.
Yeah, no. But in the show Insecure, one of the actresses wild out because she found out that her mother, her father cheated on her mom. Even though they're insecure, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's just like, is there coming back from cheating? Because I feel like back in the days, it was so many big issues that people had to deal with. Like cheating wasn't something that destroyed a relationship. But nowadays it seems like, cheating's the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? So, is there coming back from cheating?
Listen, it is a comeback from cheating if it's not sexual. If it's not sexual, it is a comeback from cheating if it's not sexual. Because once it becomes sex, that's intimate. I don't think it's a comeback. Not. I'm speaking from a man's perspective. But if it's conversation, if it's conversation, and it's just conversation, you can confirm that it's just conversation, then it could probably be a comeback from that. Once you get intimate, because the thing about guys about when we get cheated on, it's like, guys, we can cheat all day sometimes, right? And then, no, I'm gonna be honest, guys, you could cheat all day, and then you want your woman to forgive you, whatever. Once we find out that our woman cheated on us, it's like that one trophy you worked hard for, right? Mm-hmm. You that favorite trophy. Once you realize that somebody else had that trophy, you don't want the trophy anymore. And our egos will not let us. We can't handle it. Sometimes some guys can't handle it. So that's why guys don't research it. Mm. And girls could cheat all day. Mm. Girls could cheat all day.
Listen, let me break this down for you, player one, player two. You guys are both in very successful, happy marriages. All right, so
Santeria.
So y'all may not.
He's saying that voodoo is what kept this.
Santeria. Oh, that's what
keeping him
in. You under the spell?
Santeria.
Okay, that's a joke he always makes.
No, it might be true. I don't know. Your wife's Dominican, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You under that. But my thing is, I unfortunately have the experience of I'm a divorcee. My marriage ended because of cheating. I've had multiple relationships end because of cheating, and I'm not gonna lie to you all people. I'm the culprit. I have done it, and I'm not giving myself a pass. I'm not giving anybody who cheats a pass. But let me explain something to y'all. And I got to disagree with you. It's not always the end all be all for a man. Definitely not always the end all be all for a woman. But for a man, I must say, I don't know if I've ever been cheated on because I don't dig enough to know.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't research it. That's why.
I don't research. But at the same time, if it happened to me, especially in a relationship where I know I cheated, I would be open to forgiving because I would feel like, oh, that's just my karma. You know what I'm saying? So
okay,
she did that to me because what I did to her, even if she don't know about what I did to her, apparently I wasn't living up to my end of the deal. So she went out and did that. And that's the reason people cheat in general. It's because, I seen somebody put, it's because, you lacking something, inner unhappiness or whatever. It's not because of that. It's because your spouse is not providing you with something that you really need to keep all that attention away. Because the attention is going to be there. You see what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
Now, if your spouse is doing what they need to as far as keeping you satisfied in certain areas, they're not going to satisfy you in every area. That's a fact. It's the 80-20 rule. Nobody's perfect. You're never going to find a woman that makes you 100% happy. All right? If that's the case, then you got something wrong with you.
Well, I kind of got to agree with that and kind of got to disagree with that. I think sometimes we use that as the scapegoat, saying, well, I wasn't 100% happy, so that's why I cheated. And then we, but then in your case, just to use what you're saying, you've been the culprit multiple times, right? Mm-hmm. So there's got to be a point in time where you be like, yo, is something wrong with me?
I've said that plenty of times. And I'm the old George Costanza. It's not you, it's me. But at the same time, I'm working through my issues. So if we dating and I'm working through my issues and you leave the opportunity, because it's all about cheating. It's all about opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
And it's circumstance too, right? Because the reason why people was like, "Oh, you saw," cheating's not the end all be all, depending on the circumstance, right? Because if I catch my wife cheating, the reason why it's gonna hurt me is because I feel like I put in extra effort to make sure that everything that she asks of me, I try my best to provide.
If you know in your heart of hearts that you have done everything and there's nothing more you can do in your relationship to make sure your relationship is a happy one, and they still cheat, then it probably is the end or be all. But if you can say, you know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, I neglected her here. I didn't give her that time. Or, I was more focused on myself and doing this. You know what I'm saying? I put her to the back burner, or, in women's case, whatever. My ex-wife ain't listen to this anyway. Not that I care what her feelings are. But I got married young. I think it was like, I was 21, 22, mad young. And I was at maybe my not sexual peak, but I was I was not active. I was very hyper, and I needed a lot of that. And my wife wasn't a sexual person. So, and our schedules were opposite almost. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So she denied me, one too many times. And that's in itself.
As married men, you go down that road.
Oh, no.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Listen.
It's not an excuse.
It can happen.
It's definitely a catalyst.
It can happen, bro.
But that's when the communication come about, right?
We talked about it.
And listen, if I have that conversation with you and you don't improve, just know that
this is going to happen.
Something adjustments is going to be made.
So before I move to the next portion, because we're kind of about to touch on it, is there coming back from cheating in a relationship?
I believe, yes. Like as long as the other person can maybe see an area of improvement. If they feel like you cheated on them and they gave you your all and they gave you their all, and you just, you know what I mean? There was nothing else they could do. They tried to speak with you. They tried, and you just, then it's not. But I believe most times that's not the case. I believe most times there's something missing. Both parties may know, and both parties just need to discuss it, and you can come back. If you love each other enough, you can come back from cheating. But then also the person that was cheated on has to forgive. Not forget, because I ain't going to never forget it. I'm sure she ain't going to never forget it. But you have to forgive, and you have to put it in the rear. Because nobody wants to be with somebody who constantly reminds them of their indiscretion.
Like I said, I don't think it's... I think you can't come back from it if...
You can't?
You cannot if it's intimate.
But you said if it's sexual. I think it's worse.
No, sexual. No, listen.
No, it's worse than it's sexual.
Listen. The communication part, like if it's like text message here or there, and then that person's cheating on that's different. But if you know both parts, if that person had sex with that person, that means you went to the next level.
No, that's what. Listen, we are sexual beings.
No.
Hold on. You could sleep with a chick and forget about it the next day, right?
Oh, that's
right?
That's all day. That's
right?
with a dude.
But honestly, women can do that too. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. A woman could sleep with a dude, get off, and be like, it's nothing. I still love my husband. But if she's texting with him, she's talking with him constantly, that's
making it a fantasy.
Going on
that's
dates.
tough. That's tough.
No, that's a deeper connection, bro.
You
don't want that.
No.
You don't want that.
Listen. I don't listen. The connection of texting and stuff. Once I know that he had it, though, it's over.
So for you, you just don't want nobody else in your box.
The mental cycle it's over. Like
you just don't want nobody else in your box.
Listen. Every day, people flirt. People flirt. So even flirting is a form of cheating. Whether you think so or not,
of course,
flirting is a form of cheating.
And I think everybody's guilty of it.
So everybody's guilty. So
if
you want to get realistic, everybody's been cheated for.
Yeah.
Because everybody has flirt or said one or two things that. Hold on, should I say that? Everybody has done it. They're not gonna tell you in front of you that they're doing that. They're not. You know what I'm saying? But
right, so just so we could move the conversation on, and you could continue to talk about it. The second question: is there ever a justified reason for cheating? Like I said earlier, the way I couldn't come back from cheating if I know that I was open to the person, and they didn't come to me and said they needed something, and I kept denying it, and then it happened. Then I feel it's on my fault.
Yeah.
But so is that a justified reason for cheating? Like if a husband is constant, like you said earlier in your marriage that you were being turned down from your sexual
I think I put
advantages,
too
and
much importance on sex.
Yeah, but I think
maybe.
It's stages of life. At a younger age, that's more important to you.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like I can understand feeling like, man, I'm being turned down. To me, psychologically, it gets deeper than that. To me, it's just like, damn, you don't want me anymore. You don't think I'm desirable anymore. I'm feeling neglected. So then you start chasing that attention elsewhere. That's a justified reason for cheating in my head. But can cheating be justified? Like if you fronting on a woman, you tell her I'm busy, I'm watching ball, I'm doing this, I'm hanging out with the fellas, and then some dude who start texting her, get her attention, tell her she look good at work, start building up her confidence in the way that you used to, and now she slides off, and then you find out, and she admits to it, and she apologizes and says she doesn't want to do it anymore. Was she justified in cheating?
My answer might surprise people because, like I said, I have been guilty of cheating. I used to be a serial cheater. I am 500 days. I am 500 days clean and counting. Nah. What I'm saying is, I know there is no justification for it, and this is why. In every situation where I cheated, I should have first communicated better with the person I was with that I was unhappy in whatever aspect, right? And then even when you have that conversation, right, and nothing changes, then you say, you know what? It may be time to end the relationship. It may be time to end the relationship. Because this is what I'm going to do. If you don't, I spoke to you about it. I thought we made headway. You know what I mean? Some kind of improvement or whatever. We went out, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You still are doing the same things. I'm still feeling the same way. So there's no more discussion. Either I'm going to disrespect the relationship and cheat on you, or maybe we should just end it here. Because at least if we end it here, we can say we don't hate each other. But if I cheat on you and you find out, you're going to hate me. You know what I'm saying? So there's no justification.
I always make these jokes, and then my wife stares at me terribly and stuff like that. It's just like, it's that situation's tough. I gotta be open-minded about it, because it's just like, so do you end 10, 15, 20 years of marriage, building a life together and stuff like that, because the person stepped out one time, or the person was feeling messed up one time? As a man, you always say, like, babe, I had a weak moment, but please forgive me. But women can have that weak moment too. So do you end 15, 20, 30 years of marriage because the person stepped out one time?
No.
They still love you. They still took care of your needs. They had a weak moment.
You know what? I'm going to answer that question because I'm married still. And I think, I don't know if you ended 15, 20 years down the line, because that's a lot invested, right? Especially if you got children.
Especially
if you got children involved in it, right?
Together, things like that.
Many marriages are only still together. But
I think, and this is, I'm no marriage counselor or the perfect husband or what's good, but I think a lot of relationships fail now because of the communication about it. Because, like, if you know you dating one person or dating somebody, vice versa, whoever, and that person is sexual, and you not, and we're adults, and you not fucking him, he gonna put $100 on the table somewhere else and get it somewhere else, and then he gonna feel like your purpose is no needed because it's not even about the sex part. It's because in our relationship, you're not doing something that really makes me happy. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, men and women, we both do it, right? We sometimes we neglect that person too much. When you're neglecting that person too much, it's gonna lead to that.
There's somebody who think your shorty's a snack.
Yeah, it's gonna lead
Trust
to
me,
that.
you're not the only dude who think your shorty's a snack.
It's the same dude that meet up with her at the vending machine, give her the same compliment every day, right? and she keep avoiding him. But now that
one day she gonna smile and laugh at that compliment.
Now that one day she's pressing CE saying that, I will take the M&Ms.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Now that conversation happened. You know what I'm saying?
He's really at the vendor.
But I had to bring us. Remember I said I was gonna bring something you set up earlier?
Yeah.
Sometimes your spouse don't believe in your dream, but there's that other person on the side
side
who believes in your dream and build you up.
Let me elaborate with what I was saying on that too, right? I always, and this is a fact, even with my wife, I always try to do date nights or try to create something at the end of the week to see what's going on through the week because I work a lot. I'm trying to get this money for real. Not, you know what I'm saying? So I work a lot, and I'm trying to do different things. So during the time I'm working a lot, I'm doing doubles, I'm doing overtime. I don't know the 16 hours. I don't know what she's done in that 16 hours, right? Because I'm working. Yeah. But I tell her straight up on that Monday, yo, listen, I'm doing a lot of overtime. But Saturday and Sunday, we pick some places because I gotta know what's going on. And I gotta communicate with that. If I'm not doing that, I work. Listen, I work so much that she could have another relationship, and I wouldn't even know it. And I work in gym. I don't want to say exactly what I work, but I work in a place where it is possible. Yeah. But I talk to her. Every week we have the weekend. It's called the weekend. Listen, when you marry, the weekend report card. You got to do it. Weekend report card. You remember Cliff Rock Benham said the weekend report card. That's going to save your relationship. Real talk. You know why? Because guys, sometimes we be feeling ourselves too much, right? Yeah. You got to understand this. Same way there's 6 other chicks. There's 22 other dudes lined up on your joint. And
there's always someone who thinks your joint's a snack.
So you got to do that weekend report card. Look at the report card to make sure everything is going up, lining up. Because she's not going to put herself, she's not going to put herself in certain positions to even want to. Of course she's going to think other men's attractive. You too, whatever. And also as a man, you can't put yourself in certain situations. You can't be at the certain spots.
But what I was saying, I don't believe you should end the relationship just like that.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
He asked the question, is it ever justified? Mm-hmm. And it's not ever justified.
I'm explaining. It's justified if the other person being neglect and the communication was there. It is justified.
So why not just end the relationship?
It's not about ending relationship. You can't just end a relationship when you got four in the pot. It don't work like that.
Kids.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it don't work like that. 4 in the pot. You own 3 businesses together. You take her mom's.
Okay. So tell me this, bro. Tell me this. No, you got 4 in the pot, right? You had the conversation with her. This is what I'm missing from you. You're not giving me this. I'm unhappy. Okay? I need you to correct this. Months go by. It's the same thing.
But
nothing has been done.
No. Listen, but that's when you tell her, listen here. We bring a new team member on board. No, real talk. Listen, no, real talk. Listen. We bring a new team member on board. You know why? And we're staying married. We're staying together. Things are gonna work out because I told you what it was. And I even tried it your way. I tried to be more sensitive. But now we got another teammate on board.
She's gonna be cool with that.
If she's not gonna be cool with it, we still staying together because I did my part. She's not reaching out. If the parties are not together like that, you listen. Something gotta give. So she gotta respect that.
I want to move on from that portion to say that ladies and gentlemen on both sides, if you don't continue to court the person you with,
weekend report cards. We mentioned that.
If you don't continue to build up the person,
continue dating, right?
You have to continue dating. You have to continue building up the ego and the personal needs of the person. Because trust me,
And role play.
There's somebody.
You got to role play.
Yeah, but there's somebody for everybody, and there's multiple somebodies for everybody. So you
But
have to
it's
continue.
never justified cheating.
So let me ask one question on
It's
this
never
topic before
justified.
we move on, right? And if you cheat or getting cheated on, does that mean the love is no longer there? See, I think that's the misconception. A lot of times women like, if you love me, then you
would
wouldn't
never
have cheated
cheat.
on me.
Yes,
And
of
that's not
course.
the case. I loved you. I still love you, and I want to love you forever. It's just that
Hey.
I might have been neglected. I might have been feeling the kind of way, and I communicated to
Hey.
you over and over again, but things wasn't corrected. So I had a weak moment. I'm not justifying it, but it's honest.
Here's a better one. I loved you. That's why I cheated on you.
That's that baby boy, right?
Instead of waiting till your ass went to work and moving all my shit out, and then you come home and everything is gone. That's what happens if I don't love you. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, yo, I'm not dealing. I want to be happy. I'm done. I'm moving on. I'm moving with the chick down at the bar who tells me I'm sexy every day.
Listen, if both parties are cheating and
Then you just have an open relationship.
and
It's not called
then
cheating.
both parties are cheating and the communication there, whatever. You might as well just be in an open relationship because it's a joke.
Yeah, but
Because
I get that. But does that mean the love is not there no more? You
oh
don't love
no,
the
you
person?
could love somebody and still cheat on them. You could love somebody and still cheat on them. What you call that?
Can your spouse still love you but cheated? Because like you said,
That's why I
you
told
work
her.
two jobs.
That's why I
That's why
told
the
her.
weekly report
The
card.
weekly report card, and I said the communication part, right? I can handle communication. I can handle the text, it's just whatever. Even if he's talking crazy in the text, but if I gotta take a lot of detective stuff to know that he did that stuff that he said through the text.
Yeah.
Because once you get intimate with the person, once that woman or man take his clothes off, that's next level ball game. See, you could listen. You could text.
No,
listen,
see, you
and
gotta
listen, hold on.
understand the
Hold-
woman,
let me-
and they
let
gotta
me
understand the
let me try to
man.
explain
Hold on,
that.
it's the difference. That's why we don't understand each
Hold
other,
on, let
bro.
me explain.
It's deeper for a woman to establish emotional connection with a guy than it is for her to have sex with him. This is the same way with a man. Like he could have sex with a woman and not care about her at all. But if he's conversing with her, he's taking her out on dates and stuff like that. That's when you gotta be upset and mad. You know what I mean? Because you giving this woman your time and attention. You know what I mean? It's different levels.
To be silly,
It's
but
levels to this cheating thing.
To be silly, but to keep it 100 with the Clifford, what Clifford said, the intimate thing. I get it. I feel you. I think, and I could be bullshitting. I think I could get back from intimate. What I can't get back is if you swallow dude, yo. That's finito. That's finito.
That's a whole nother ball
That
game.
is finito.
Because-
I can't come back from that,
No,
yo.
'cause-
I can't.
no,
under
because-
no
because
She
circumstances
would
can
tell
I
you
come
that
back with
there's no. She don't want you to come back
Not
from it.
even that.
'Cause I don't even want to know that.
Because now she's playing two different ball games. She's doing the intimate. She's telling.
Wow.
She's degrading herself. So
Why
what
is she
is
degrading
no
herself?
she's degrading
You know
herself.
if your wife is a freak or not.
No, she's degrading herself with that other man. So now there's no coming back from that. Cause listen, your wife got to be a freak to you, of course. I mean, that's 100%. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's
It's
what
gonna
I'm
be
saying.
vice
To me,
versa.
if she pull out the whole bag on him, then it wasn't a weak moment, yo.
But you know what? I mean, listen. The text message joint is a certain limit. Like if you, listen, the texting back and forth. But if you know that they got it in together, it ain't no coming. It's one of those things. You like, nah, I'm good.
So I want to wrap this up so we can go to the next topic. So we agreed that there can be cheating there, but love's still there.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so.
So
I think so,
cheating,
yeah.
You can cheat on somebody.
cheating doesn't mean a lack of love.
No, it doesn't.
It
It
means
just
a lack, but it doesn't mean it's
I
it
don't
not
think
just
means
there.
a lack.
it just mean at that period of time.
I mean, I
things
think
might
it's
have
hurt.
things
Love
might
is hurt.
things might have not played this card that time. So that's
Okay.
it.
So I want to move on to a topic that's it's kind of lighthearted, but to me the reason why I appreciate this family and this person so much is because he's a visionary. A lot of people see him for his faults, but they don't see the vision in his movement. And that's Mr. LeVar Ball, right? So we're going to talk about the Ball family and all the things that they got going, right? Because I seen an advertisement where they had Kim Kardashian and they said the first lady of America. They call Kim Kardashian the first lady of America. And we know how Kim received her rise to fame, right? So
That
we don't
Ray
have
J
to go into
tape.
details.
Okay.
We don't have to go into details.
Okay.
But my thing is, Mr. LeVar Ball, the thing he's guilty of is bigging up his son, building his brand, his own brand, and thinking highly of it. And people criticize the man so harshly all day that, you know, we're going to talk about, you know, how his youngest son now has his own sneaker coming out. And now there's a lot of issues saying, oh, he's a high schooler, that's going to mess with his eligibility and stuff like that. But that's part of their brand, right? So the first question of the Ball family is LeVar Ball the future of entrepreneurism?
I'll go on it.
Go ahead.
I think he's, what he's doing is great, and he has a great future in that, because how many times as an African American person you see kids get exploited? Look at the Fab Five. The Fab Five was bringing millions of dollars. They created that Black Sox.
Look at college football system, college sports in general.
The high Black Sox and the Nikes, they started that. They didn't eat off that. And they crucified Chris Webber because somebody under the table bought his parents a house. Listen, New York poor and Detroit poor is two different ball games. So no, what he's doing right now, he's saying, listen, I'm not gonna let my kids go through what was happening in the past. A lot of people, when you speak up for yourself, that's when they have a problem. Mm-hmm. What you call it? Listen, not a race car, but if it was somebody else doing this family doing that, everybody would be like,
I had to think of the Kardashians.
Everybody.
Where we don't crucify them, and Kris Jenner whores out the whole family.
Well, listen. First of all, you better be respectful of my ladies over there. Okay? I really respect. Oh, you got more to say?
I just wanted to say a little more about this situation. I think that the reason why they scared of LeVar Ball is because he's a father. His kids respect him. They're not gonna get out of line. He created something where, because it's like he has family matters over there, and it's really working. Mm-hmm. You understand? It's not like, oh, Carl Winslow and Eddie's gonna have a fight or whatever. I even watched the episode of their show. Those kids respect him because he let them know, listen, we about to change the game, and that's why everybody's having a problem with it, because they never seen that. LeBron James only had a mother that represented him out there, and his mother was on drugs and stuff. Posse. No, but listen, they never had, like he said, they never had somebody who's been a father talking out and saying, you know what, we don't need Nike, we don't need Adidas, we don't need these people. We're gonna make just as much money and keep it in the family. I can respect that.
It's a little different, and this is why people look at him crazy. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Chris. Chris is the biggest pimp out there, and you gotta respect that. She gets everybody in the family paid. All right, they own E. All right, that should be named the Kardashian Network. And I don't care how it got started. All right, her pops was a lawyer first before she opened up and spread her legs to Ray J. Yeah. And Ray J ain't even that popping, so you can't even say he got her popping. Anyway,
Ray J's popping.
With the Ball, the reason, and I respect what he's doing. I don't respect the $495 sneakers, bro. You reaching, and you disrespectful. That's the thing. You can be positive and you can be confident, but he's overboard, cocky. I don't respect the fact that he took his team he coached off the court because he didn't like the way the refs was calling the calls and stuff like that. That's just out of line. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You doing too much. You feel like you entitled to too much, and your son's is alright. You know what I mean? I don't care what you say. They ain't that great, first of all. But anyway, what I'm saying is, if he wasn't so cocky with it and offensive, I think he would get further, because, no doubt, you're a good father. You in your kid's life. That's what you're supposed to do, first of all. So people saying, oh, at least he's in his kid's life. I hate that. He's a father. He's supposed to be in his kid's life. Don't give him a pat on the back for that. But his marketing and stuff like that, it's weird because you're being offensive to some, and sometimes it works because you're building competition between big brands, and then you got your big baller brand. I like the fact he got the Facebook show that they doing now. Mm-hmm. I think it's the first Facebook actual TV series or whatever the case may be. So he's a smart business acumen, whatever the case may be. But you can't burn bridges on your way up. You can't, completely disrespect people as you climb up the ladder. You know, just because you feel that you don't need them. He's just too brash. That's for me. He's too brash for me.
The reason why I wanted to step in is because getting away from the question, is LeVar Ball the future of entrepreneurialism? I always mess up that word, of being an entrepreneur. Is he the future? Because let me tell you this. You always ruffle feathers when you step away from the norm, when you're doing your own thing. Who else? You always got to promote your brand for it to have the value that you want it to have. No one's gonna be like, I humbly say, hey guys, can you check this out because I think it's cool. No one listens to that. You have to.
He went about it one way. You know why? And Starberry went out another way. Remember Marbury shoes came out? How much was they?
$15.
$15. All right. Because he wanted kids to be able to afford it.
You know why he's the future?
People discredited it big time.
You know why he's the future? Because he's not afraid. And he's going and he's not afraid, and he's taking action for it. Trust me, don't get it twisted. Jordan ain't no different from LeVar Ball. Jordan sells sneakers for $250, $300, $375 a pop, and kids stay out there days outside.
That's Nike. That's not Jordan. That's Nike.
Jordan has a big say.
He has a big say.
You know what makes it worse? But let me just go ahead, finish.
Well, he does the same thing. He's not afraid. Trust me. He went about it and said, listen. My son, even before he got to college campus, he said, yo, we got to take advantage of this now. Yo, listen, I got 3 of them. Let's do it now. Trust me, there's been the DeJuan Wagners. There's been DeJuan Wagner could have did the same thing. And DeJuan Wagner in high school was the truth. But nobody want to go against those big time companies. He's saying, yo, I don't care. We're doing it my way. And listen, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, go to the next person. And he is the future. Because now everybody else is going to say, you know what? I got a 5-star recruit. Think about it. When you get a 5-star recruit going to Duke or North Carolina, whatever, yes, they get a college scholarship, which is great. Like a college education. I'm not great in that. But, yo, that one player, when he take you to the championship, when you doing this, whatever, that one player.
The ball kid couldn't do. He made it to Sweet 16.
That one player is bringing millions of dollars. The Fab Five got Rate Me Records. You ever heard of Rate Me Records? It was they. It's like they signed.
He got to win. It's a lot depending on what his son does this year in LA.
Listen.
Because it could all crumble real quick. I think that's part of the reason why he's going at it the way he is.
When you're a minority,
he's going at it fast.
Listen, when you're a minority and you stand up for yourself like that, people get nervous.
Yeah.
Because if he was Johnny Football. And he decided to do that. I'm not playing the race card. I'm just saying, if it was somebody else that was that talented to do what he's doing, would we be having a problem right now?
Yeah. Some people say the problem they have is like he's putting himself before the kids, but the kids aren't in the position to necessarily be as outspoken as he is. Right? The kids gotta quote unquote do certain things to stay within NCAA guidelines. Because that's the way to go through it. But what bothers me so much is like, it's how America wants to receive you, right? Like growing up, I thought Martin way was the only way, and then you educate yourself and you realize like, yo, what Malcolm had to say made more sense. You know what I'm saying?
To some,
Martin way was more acceptable, but Malcolm way made more sense to me because of bigging up the individuality of it. The way that. The way, just think of it like how you said, you could be a 5-star recruit, you go to Duke, you go to all these big schools and stuff like that.
They getting millions of dollars from you.
Let me finish. Go ahead. You're getting this quality education, but what they don't point out to you is, it's not like a lot of these students go to Duke, UCLA, North Carolina, and they study engineering, they study finance, they study basket weaving, BS
sports management and sociology. I was an athlete. Those are the two.
Yeah. But
2 degrees
they don't.
tried to get.
It's not like they put the student athlete in a position to really utilize their education. They get you on campus and do whatever it takes to get you to stay eligible for as long as they need you for.
Mm-hmm. So I understand, and I respect what he's doing. The reason I feel like it's not the future, though, and that's my answer to the question. I don't feel like this is the future because he's hedging his bet. Not really hedging it. He's just trying to get as much as he can now. Because what's his name? Lonzo? Mm-hmm. If Lonzo comes up stinky and it is not what we thought he was going to be in the NBA.
He got other two.
That whole brand is going to fall. The other two ain't as good as Lonzo. So honestly, he's the one.
LaMelo might be better than all of them. The baby might be better than all of them.
The one with the messed up eyebrows? I seen
the one with the yellow hair. The
young
one of them was getting done up in the game by some other dudes. But anyway, my thing is they've got a lot invested in this season and what Lonzo does, and then he's doing all this stuff now because right now all he has is the hype. We're going to see what he does this year. If his son averaged like 10 points and maybe 5 assists and have he's not even rookie of the year, then it's going to be like, why should I pay $495 for some big baller brand from this dude?
It's about attention. It's about attention.
Listen, you know what? They got the attention, and those kids respect their father. Because ain't none of them come and say, like, listen, man, my father's doing some clown stuff or whatever. Some people separate themselves. He got them in order, and you know what I like is he's going to capitalize off of it. And he deserves it. At first, I was like, yo, this dude's bugging out. But I'm thinking to myself, listen, there's a lot of parents that don't know how to go about it. There's some 5-star recruits that parents never came to see them play.
Yeah,
that's
crazy. So we got a timetable crunch, so I'm going to try to make our answers kind of short and sweet to the question. Right. Why is America more mad at LeVar Ball and not Kris Jenner?
I'm not gonna go with the race way. I'm gonna say it's just because of the way they went about it. Kris Jenner's I've never been openly disrespectful to anybody. She doesn't talk in a real cocky manner. The Kardashians do what they do, but they're not. I don't feel in any way offensive. I feel like LeVar is just, it's one thing to be confident, but I think he's just too cocky. Some of his actions are offensive, disrespectful. He demeans people. Like, I don't even like it, tell you the truth.
But it's offensive and disrespectful to who? To what? Because
a lot of people.
But he's building a brand, right? So he's supposed to say, yeah, Melo's average.
And he said,
yeah, hold on.
No. That's not the offensive part. The offensive part is saying you could beat Jordan.
Hold on. No,
what are you talking about?
Listen. The fact that he's doing the right thing, the fact that we're even having this conversation, he's doing the right thing. And listen, he's a black man. Listen, let him capitalize. Alonzo could be a bum. The other two, the second one that UCLA might not even pan out. He might be an overseas guy off the rip. The young son might do 5 or 10, whatever. Let's listen. Let him get his $200, $300 and start his brand, big baller brand. It's the first time you've seen a dad say, you know what? I got 3 All-Americans, and we not gonna let this college thing just take advantage of us. Okay. How many? Carmelo Anthony's mom should have had owned the whole Syracuse the way he did when he was a freshman. She didn't reek off that.
Get your money, man.
Yeah,
I don't have no problem with it.
Get your money and be confident.
So the last question is: should more? I personally feel like it's a race thing. I also feel like when you're arrogant with your presentation, it rubs people the wrong way, but. How else you're gonna get the support if you're not making your brand out there?
It's definitely a race card.
So the last thing is: should more athletes capitalize off their fame and build their own brands, or should they continue to get the penny off the dollar as they're doing with their current shoe deals and brand deals?
I think more athletes should build their own brand and bring their own team in, is because all you're doing is making these other companies rich. You're making them rich.
It's a non-stop cycle.
It's a non-stop. Listen, when you get 4 All-Americans to come to that school, it's easy for Nike to be like, yeah, okay, we're gonna give you this, what you go, because Nike is killing off of having these 4 players come. Mm-hmm. If all the top 50 All-Americans parents say, you know what, we could start our own little thing going on here. What you call it? Boom. They don't even have to go to college. They could just go to overseas, but we could start our own little company. So after we did 2 years in overseas, whatever, we got our own little black establishment. You know what they'll do? They'll come up with another rule. Hold on, that high school rule started because of what? Let's be honest. And I'm no racist.
Because the college system was hurting. Because guys was going straight out of high school.
How many Larry Birds was going straight out of high school like that?
No. Well, not Larry Birds. No.
How many? Trust me. Only reason why that played
started
over
when
The system
Kobe-
did
when
wind
Kobe-
up working against African
Kobe-
the
Americans.
Garnett.
system wound up against African Americans. It wasn't because if it was okay, they wouldn't have changed the rules.
Because
Trust
we
me.
only got
No,
1 minute.
college hurt. That's why they switched that rule. College was losing money. People was losing interest because the best players was just like, I'm going straight to the league.
I'm gonna say this.
It's a money's game.
What about the baseball farm system? It's the same difference. There's no baseball players can still go straight to the minor leagues. They don't have to go to college.
But baseball's hurting, bro.
Baseball's not hurting because of that.
Baseball's
Baseball's a
hurting.
regional sport.
But listen,
baseball is
listen,
hurting.
They
Baseball
made
is
that.
falling
No,
behind.
they made that. rule.
The
We
NFL
gotta-
and
we gotta
college
wrap it-
football is
okay,
not
wrap,
hurting.
we
But
gotta wrap it up because we only got a minute left.
go
So
ahead.
do your shout outs and then we close out.
I'm gonna shout out my family. I'm gonna shout out everybody. Have a good Labor Day weekend and be safe, and keep God first. That's it.
Hey, shout out to all my Caribbean people, rude girl them, rude boy them, my Jamaicans, my Haitians, my Trinidadians, my St. Croix family out there. Yeah, I got a little West Indian in me, all right? Have a fun Labor Day, all right? Let's everybody be safe. You know, I want everybody to go out there and party and everybody to get home safe, all right? So just have fun and be responsible. Thank y'all for tuning in. That's it, man.
Yeah, I just want to say be safe. Continue to keep supporting the Views from the Friend Zone podcast. Share, like the page, share the videos. We want to continue to have you guys follow us so we can keep growing. Have a safe, happy Labor Day, and keep chasing your legacy because that's all that matters at the end of the day. That's the View of the Week. We out. Peace.